I'm here to continue the conversation about HAMNET, but not without my cup of tea, obviously. And today I actually have cloves and honey tea, and let's take a little sip of it. Oh, that's really good. So I want to get to it. Our last thing was about me and my experience and the audience, how we felt, the beauty, the tenderness, the softness, all of that has been great. But I do want to be able to provide one of the gems that I was able to get from this masterpiece, and something that I feel like a lot of people haven't been really focusing on, or I haven't heard a lot of discourse on. I feel like I've heard a lot of people talking about the grief, the loss, the emotional impact, how everyone's crying, the actual beautiful setting and the nature aspect, how tranquil it could be. And then I've seen a lot of videos on like before going and watching HAMNET and then after watching HAMNET, and obviously like you're gonna be a different person like walking into that movie and then walking out, and it's gonna inform hopefully and stay with you forever, not even for a very long time. But I hope it's one of those movies that when you go into and you come out of it, you do come out changed. You see things so different. And when you hear certain stories, whether mothers are telling you or expressing, or unfortunately miscarriages, I hope that you're able to now have this in your, I guess, being, where you're able to be like, whoa, that's so sad. Anyways, one of the things, and actually the reason why I want to share this gem is because of that. I think last hangout I was like, you know what, I don't implore you, bestow it upon yourself. But now I've come around and I have been kind of like, I do kind of implore you. I am going to tell you, and I do want you to challenge yourself, at least carve out the time to go and watch this movie out in the movie theaters with the audience, with people around you. It is now like officially out everywhere, so you shouldn't have to travel too far to get access to watching this amazing movie. And I think that once you allow yourself to just sit there and be with people, and don't be afraid to sit next to people. I also think that that's a beautiful part of watching this specific movie, because there is something that I keep hearing the director say is grief and loss connects us all. And I think that's so true, and it's so real, and it's so beautiful.
Some way grief connects us all, even though it's difficult, but it's what makes us human. And when we are grieving, we actually feel closest, most compassionate towards each other.
But I also feel like the reason why we even have this is art. I keep saying that this is art, this is a masterpiece. And it is in a way that's kind of meta and inceptional, because you are watching art being created in the big screen as you yourself are watching art. This is a story about William Shakespeare. Even though he is not the one that's the main focus, he is still the main, I guess, core of the reason why we even have HAMNET, or Hamlet, obviously. And he really did lose his child, which inspired him to create the play, which inspired this. So it's all really connected in a very beautiful and tragic way. And I think that watching this, there's a story in the beginning that I personally love. Agnes tells Will, tell me a story, which I already loved.
Tell me a story.
What story would you like?
Tell me a story. And then he tells her a story about this romance, and it's about Orpheus and Eurydice. He tells her this amazing, beautiful, yet tragic story. But I think that it obviously moves her and it touches her. And this isn't a spoiler. This is also, I do want to just ramble a little bit. And this is something that I was having a conversation with my friend just yesterday about, the fact that this is a movie that you can literally say major plot points, say certain things, especially since if it's going to be a mother or someone that you know is very, very sensitive to certain things, and you want to just, I guess, help them to go and watch it, but it's also so much that you don't want them to feel, I guess, scared to even approach this kind of work of art. So you kind of like, soften the blows by letting them know this does happen, this is part of the theme or the movie, and it hopefully encourages them to still go and watch it. And I did say, I think this is such a beautiful art piece, because when it comes to art, it's such a subjective thing, but it's also such a subjective personal experience. That's not something that you could just give to someone. And when movies, books are done right, no matter if you tell them certain things, because of how rich they are, you can never give that to someone else. They have to go themselves. There's books out there that are so great, and there's so many people that review books, review movies, and obviously they do spoilers. Some people do spoiler freeze, but they do spoilers. Yet that is already enough to be like, oh wow, what's the point of going and watching that movie or reading the book? I already know the spoilers. I already know the big points that are going to happen. I know the theme. But there's certain things that's like, no matter if you know that, you have to go and read the book. You have to go and watch the movie. You have to go and experience those human emotions, because no one else can do that for you. And this is a movie like that, and I love it so much. I'm going to be raving about this movie forever, honestly. So I do want to just talk about how he gives, going back to my story of Will tells her that story. It's super beautiful. It moves her, it touches her. She begins to cry. And that's a beautiful thing, and I think that that's such a huge point of the movie, because that is pretty much, for me, how I see it, the umbrella of what the whole movie is about, which is art is truly a lifeline. It makes us and taps into emotions that we ourselves carry and makes us feel so human. There's a very cathartic thing about it. So I feel like this movie, that's why I feel like now I had to really think about it, and I'm like, no, I implore so many of us to go watch it, because I do truly believe that going and watching a movie like this will shape you and will make you a better person. I think that's the power of art, and not only will it help you become a better person and grow, maybe even develop certain empathy or perspectives, but it also is going to help you walk into life, again, greeting people differently and perceiving them differently. And when you come across a mother that's pregnant, or when you come across someone that was once a mother, or whatever it is, and not just in that aspect, but just overall, I think that it also helps you and informs you of having appreciation for art and really getting to sit with it and seeing what it could do for you. Unfortunately, we live in a time and place where everything's like fast paced. You just gotta go move to the next thing, but this, just let it really marinate with your heart, with your mind, and sit with it. So that's pretty much what I wanted to just talk about. Art is a lifeline, and this movie can provide you with that by just helping you with the grieving process, but also giving art its due importance. It's so important and it's so vital. And there's that quote, the world without art would just be and it would just not just be but I think that a lot of people would lose their minds. I know that. I mean, I'm surrounded with art. I love art so much, and I think that that's such a beautiful thing to be able to wake up and see all my books, all the paintings, all the posters that I have, the movies. It brings true joy to me. So please go and watch this movie. That's it.